Hey guys, it's Shaf Man from Shaf Man TV. I'm in Italy. The sun's shining and it's very nice. Everybody's sat outside in cafes and I'm here. Beautiful, beautiful Rome. Going through some historical sites. It's really nice. So the question I'm looking at today is Italy bankrupt? And are Italian banks bankrupt? And it's a really interesting topic actually. Some pretty mind-boggling figures coming out. Italy has got the second largest public debt burden in the Eurozone, but it's also got really slow growth, and it has something like 15% of loans that are non-performing, so non-performing loans. And basically, someone just crashed there. That's funny. Someone's just crashed in a, I don't even know what they're called, but anyways, in a Segway. So yeah, you've got something like 15% of non-performing loans, and those non-performing loans account for about 20% of GDP. So you've got basically, if you look at the whole Italian banking sector, you've got something like 197 billion non-performing loans. Yep, that's 197 billion non-performing loans. And that's as of 2016, and at 21.4% of that burden of total loans are non-performing. So basically 1 in 5 of the loans that Italian banks actually have and have given to investors and businesses and various like are non-performing. So what's a non-performing loan? A non-performing loan is a loan that the recipient of the loan doesn't even make interest payments on the loan, and technically it is a bad loan because the recipient of the loan is actually unable to afford the repayments on that loan, and so you have a massive amount of debt in the Italian banking system which isn't even generating interest, and pretty much is going to have to be written off. And as I say, you're talking about 197 billion euros. So that's 197 billion euros of non-performing loans that aren't generating interest. And the central question is, what would happen if the rate of interest increases? And this is really important for investors to get their heads round. It could be potentially a systemic risk for Italy and or the Eurozone. And you also, you've seen some moves by the ECB and the Italian government to try to recapitalize some of these loans. You've got, for example, Monte dei Paschi di Siena, that's Monte dei Paschi di Siena. They've got something like 28 billion euros worth of non-performing loans. And according to the Financial Times, there was an agreement that I read about in June of this year, 17, between the Italian government and the European Commission to recapitalize Monte Paschi's loans, basically. And this obviously follows the wind down of two smaller Veneto banks, and all three of those banks, as I say, have above 30% of all their loan book is non-performing. Now, these figures are mind-blowing, and the question also investors need to ask themselves, and this is why we must also know something about economics and learn about economics, is what is the implication of the low rate of interest? And as I said before, what would happen if the interest rate normalized? Because bear in mind, before the financial crash, the interest rate is down some 1,000%. The average rate of interest in the last decade was maybe 8%, and now it's 0.25%, 0.5%, 0.75%. So as the rate of interest goes up, these non-performing loans would potentially cause a systemic risk to the system. They may bankrupt individuals, they may bankrupt financial institutions, and they may bankrupt businesses, and the ramification of that could be very, very large. So again, I'm not saying this from a fundamentally negative position, but what I'm saying is that investors and business people must be aware of these type of issues, like in Italy, like the level of debt in Greece, like the sovereign debt that's currently in China, like the level of debt in Japan, you know, like the level of debt in various industries, and understand that because the rate of interest is so fundamentally low, that should there be a normalization, then that may cause some ramifications for the economy and also your business and your stock portfolio and the bonds you're invested in and your retirement plans. So be aware of these type of things. Now, I'm not saying that the ECB and the Italian government are not going to somehow recapitalize and find a way out of this morass, because you know it is a morass. It is a swamp of problems to have such a level of debt and non-performing loans. But be aware, people. Be aware of these things. So I'm going to go back to my holiday now, and I'm going to look around this beautiful, beautiful historical site. Look, just gorgeous, absolutely fantastic. Get myself an espresso. So if you can subscribe to my channel, Shaf Man TV, I'll be absolutely delighted. I wish you a fantastic day, and I'll be back with more videos soon. Thank you very much. Thanks.